Midwestern Movie Reviewer here with another movie review. Tonight I saw Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This is a sequel to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. That was released last year. So I was really looking forward to this one. The preview looked amazing. I wasn't excited to find out this movie was 2 hours and 50 minutes, like 3 hours long. If you throw in the previews, over almost 3.5 hours long. I was like, oh, please let it have tons of action because that is a lot. Long, long movie. And they did great. I enjoyed Tom Cruise's performance in this so well. He had, this is my premise. He is trying to convince everyone that at 62, he is still hot. So there were several shirtless scenes of Tom Cruise in this movie. I was like, we get it, Tom. Put your shirt back on. You're fit. You're in good shape for a 62-year-old man. And I wonder, he's also had amazing work done. I mean, we're going to be honest on this episode of Midwestern Movie Reviewer. He's had great work done. I'm going to compare. I'm going to show you. If you see him in Dead Reckoning, his face looked kind of puffy, like they put a lot of fillers in there. This is not a plastic surgery review channel. This one is movies, but because he has just changed so much from movie to movie, I had to bring it up because you notice it. You notice he's trying to hold on to his youth. So he looks great. The work that he has had done recently looks great. But I did wonder, what would he look like if he hadn't had the work done, if he wasn't dyeing his hair, etc. I don't know if I can Photoshop a picture to age him to what he would look like, but if I can, here it is. So anyways, it was really, really good. Continued from the last one, AI is trying to basically take over the world and destroy the world. That's the premise of this. Continued, how are they going to save the world? So this premise terrifies me. There's so many movies about AI going and running amok, usually in the form of a little girl dancing all crazy, Megan or something like that, or some robot, basically. But this is what AI really is. Just something on the internet that just is learning and growing and getting access to things that it doesn't need access to. And how would you stop something like that? So the premise of this is terrifying. I mean, it was tons of suspense, mostly because of him doing so many of his own stunts. But the premise was frightening for me. So one thing I did love, though, was they brought back a lot of the cast from the previous movies. I'm going to read off some of the people that they had in this one that were back from previous movies. They brought back, of course, Tom Cruise, but then also Haley Atwell, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Henry Czerny, I'm going to say his name is, and Angela Bassett. And Angela Bassett has gone from a CIA director to the president of the United States. She did a great job in this. I really enjoyed her performance. So then you also had so many cameos and so many great other additional actors. Besides being directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who I think has done some of the other ones, you had Isai Morales in this. And one interesting tidbit about that, the character that he played was supposed to be played by Nicholas Hoult. But Nicholas Hoult had a conflict with another role that he was taking. So from Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning, they decided to use Isai Morales for that role. You also had Holt McElhaney, Janet McTeer, Nick Offerman, Hannah Waddingham, Tremel Tillman, among others. There's so many actors in this, so many really great actors in this. And all of them did a really good job in their performances. So I highly, highly recommend this. And then the stunts that Ethan did. He was, of course, as he always does, jumping out of planes, underwater. In the other movies, he's done stuff with trains. He's done stuff with just constantly jumping off of buildings, skyscrapers, different things. And this one, the scenes were amazing. And there's one thing I did want to note. They did not have a disclaimer at the beginning of this movie for flashing lights, but it does have several scenes of things of flashing. So if you have any kind of a reaction to that. Just be aware of that. But this movie it doesn't have like, it's not, there's a little bit of blood, a little bit of violence, but it's not really, I would not call this gory. It's full of action sequences. There is fighting, but it's really tame. This is something you could probably take not babies and not 6-year-olds or something, but your early teens and stuff could go see this and enjoy it as a family. Such a fun, if they can sit for 3.5 hours straight, that's the issue. But the story was pretty deep and fun also. Of course, there's always, what do you call it, disable a bomb or whatever. That's like in every single movie. Just very well done. The stunts, the cinematography. This movie would be great in IMAX because of the sounds and the visuals and the crazy over the top stunts. I think it would be a little bit much in 40X. You would get beat up for 3.5 hours in 3D or 4D. That would be rough. But in IMAX, it'd be amazing. I think this would be an amazing experience at the theaters. Okay, so far, they have said that the final reckoning, so that this would be the final Mission Impossible movie. But as of lately, Tom Cruise has said he would come back and do another one if they had a great story for him. So this may not be the last that we see of Ethan Hunt. I would go because I love this character. I love the stories. I love that spy, intense, just thing that Tom Cruise brings to this character. So maybe, hopefully it's not the last we see of Ethan Hunt. And Tom Cruise has said that he will be doing action movies well into his 100s. I think this man believes he's immortal, and maybe some of that Scientology stuff, he knows something we don't know, but hopefully he continues with the good plastic surgery and doesn't look crazy and scary as he's 100 trying to do these roles. He pointed out that Harrison Ford and his role as Indiana Jones, he's been doing into his 80s. I don't know how old Harrison Ford started out as, Indiana Jones. But into his 80s, he is playing this character. So who knows? We may never get rid of Ethan Hunt. But as far as this particular movie goes, Midwestern Movie Reviewer says go see Mission Impossible Final Reckoning in theaters and in IMAX if you can. Midwestern Movie Reviewer out.